Made all the basement pure radiant in his arm. N is for Newsom, Bobo's favorite Ken. You ask how the big train in his prime was so fast he could throw 3 strikes at a time. K is for Keeler, as fresh as green paint, the fastest and mostest to hit where they ain't. L is for La Jolla, whom Clevelanders love, Napoleon himself with glue in his glove. M is for Matty, who carried a charm in the form of an extra brain in his arm. N is for Newsom, Bobo's favorite Ken. You ask how he's here, he talked himself in. O is for Ott, of the restless right foot. When he leaned on the pellet stay put. P is for Plank, the arm of the A's. When he tangled with Matty, games lasted for days. Q is for Don Quixote, Cornelius Mack. Neither Yankees nor years can halt his attack. R is for Ruth, to tell you the truth. There's no more to be said, just R is for Ruth. S is for Speaker, swift center field tender. When the ball saw him coming, it yelled, I surrender. T is for Terry, the giant from Memphis, whose 400 average you can't overemphasize. U would be Ubel if Carl wore a Cockney, but we say Hubble in baseball like football in Rockney. V is for Vance, the Dodgers' very own Dazzy. None of his rivals could throw as fast as he. W, Wagner, the bow-legged beauty, short, close to all traffic with Honus on duty. X is the first of 2 X's in Fox, who was right behind Ruth with his powerful socks. Y is for Young, the magnificent sigh. People battled against him, but I never knew why. Z is for Zenith, the summit of fame. These men are up there, these men are the game. Lineup for yesterday, Ogden Ash, January 1949, Sport Magazine. Hey, Braves Country, Mac McGee here for American Rebel Beer. America's patriotic light lager, all natural ingredients. Stand tall, be proud. The perfect beer to celebrate life, liberty, and your pursuit of the American dream. America's patriotic light lager, offering a crisp, clean, bold taste. The perfect beer to celebrate life, liberty, and your pursuit of the American dream. A beer with only 110 calories that tastes like a full-flavored beer and celebrates like freedom.
Spring training to you, girls and boys, here on the BCR. As we're set to bring you this game and get you ready for the boys of summer. Opening day is quickly approaching, and there's still a lot of questions to be answered out on the diamond. So kick back and relax. Grab you a cold one, as we're set to bring you pitch by pitch, play by play, the classic call of radio baseball. we'll hit the lineups as the game moves on. Wherever you are, we'll take you out to the warm sunshine and the beautiful blue skies of spring training baseball. Make sure to hit that subscribe and set the alerts, as we've got a full docket of spring baseball coming your way leading up to opening day. So with the spring in our step, the wind at our back, and the sun high in the sky, let's put it all aside and head out to the old ballpark. Good afternoon, everybody. So what we're doing here, if this makes sense, originally we weren't going to do a game today. Then we tentatively put up on our schedule, we were going to look around at 12:45 and see what's going on. Here's the deal. Went to the Braves game yesterday, and on the way back, I was listening to the replay of it, off the Braves radio. It's brutal. Had to sit there and listen to a 15-minute argument on whether or not the Tampa Bay Rays ever had somebody with the name of Ray play for them. I was like, my God, I can't even see the game, and I bet I could do a better job. So that's what we're going to do. We're bringing you the live broadcast of the Mets and the Blue Jays. And as we do that, I've got another monitor that I can see in real time what's going on in the Braves game. And we're just going to kind of react to it. They don't have their best foot forward. They've got guys like Mateo and Dominic Smith and Gamble and Kiersey and who else do they have in the lineup? I saw Hicklin, Skunk, who sucked yesterday. I watched him live. He's terrible. And so this is because they're on the road, and when they're on the road, they really don't have anybody worth the damn. It was supposed to be Strider starting today. Now they've changed it to Bauman, probably because Strider will pitch tomorrow. So there you have it. So we're going to, you're talking about the guys you're seeing in today's game over in the Braves. Only two that I see even have a remote possibility of making the roster. The rest are going to be minor leaguers at best. A lot of them will get DFA. You do have Nacho Alvarez in, but he's not making the everyday squad if he does run. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to react to that, and as it comes along, we'll be able to see the Blue Jays and Mets. And I haven't been able to watch the Blue Jays yet. They've got their full starting lineup in, so that should be a lot of fun. The Mets are doing basically what the Braves are doing and putting the also-rans in their lineup because they are on the road. You see that a lot in the early spring training games, but there is no broadcast unless you go to that. My God, it was brutal. It was so bad that after about 2 to 3 innings of it, I flipped over and listened to the Giants-Cubs on the radio coming back from the game, because John Miller is still one of the best there is. And I was like, man, I'd rather listen to this about teams I really don't care about than listen to that nonsense. Literally, that was a real argument that they were having. And the dead air and everything. Anyways, we'll get off that soapbox. As soon as the game comes in, we will bring it to you. And we'll flip over to the real scoreboard when it kicks in. Better version than what you see right there, but that's just all we have really available for us right now. So good to see everybody in the chat. I know I saw Iron Lung. Jason was telling me that Iron Lung is, I don't know if you were asking about the live game or something, but anyways, that's why I didn't see the early comments, but anyways, Christopher, good to see you. Everybody loves Raymond Lovelace, as was. Tomorrow, Tuesday through Friday, we've got Braves games. They're just not broadcasting it today. A little surprised because Baltimore does a very good job of covering their spring game, but maybe because it's a Monday game, they decided not to do it. PETA, see you in the chat. And we got to Chris and Gary the Real McCoy and Chris Feetball MVP. Feetball, baby, feetball. And who else do we have? I thought I saw a couple others, but that might be about it. Just chiming in on it. I know a lot of y'all listen at work, but we're going Joyce Robledo, good to see you. We're going 1 to 3 today on this because by that time they start putting all the backups in, and I know majority of our audience does not care about who's playing fifth string for the Blue Jays later on in the summer. So, Braves tomorrow. I think it's the Tigers tomorrow that we're playing. So that should be a lot of fun. And I'm assuming that's what happened. Originally, they were talking about Strider in this game, but it's not going to be Strider once against Bauman. If you've seen some of these guys that they have, and like the guy that gave it the grand slam yesterday against Minnesota. So we watched. We stayed there till about the 6th inning when they started putting the bums in. We started making our way back home because it's a decent drive, and we had to be up this morning and all that. And first time ever going to the game, so that was a lot of fun. I've never been to the new spring training facility. It opened technically in 2020, but it really didn't get open until 2021 because of 2020 spring training was cut short because of the pandemic, as most of y'all will remember, should remember. And it's a neat facility. It is expensive, but that's what spring training has turned into because you're really going for the atmosphere and everything. I'll tell you what, the food was good. The food was damn good. We were surprised. They really stepped their game up since when they were in Orlando. The food was okay, but it was nothing to write home about. They have some very good food at the new Braves spring training facility. I'll tell you what, if you get a chance to go to a spring training game down there, to me, it's worth the price of admission. You're not going there to root on your team to win. You're really going there for the atmosphere. And I've never been to a better spring training facility, and I've been to a few. So they have a tiki bar area in the back that you can still see the game. They need to put some monitors back there because if you're sitting in one of the high tops in the tiki area, you cannot see the game at all. But I'm sure they'll eventually get all that worked out. But the seats themselves, if you start looking at prices for seats, what we found is there's not a bad seat in that house because just like a lot of the new spring training parks, they don't seat a lot of folks, and they have curved the seating, and you're on top of the field essentially no matter where you sit. So if you get a fairly cheap ticket that you see online where you get a deal or whatever, go ahead and grab it because it's really not worth paying the extra because, like I said, there's not a bad seat in the entire stadium. Even the ones down the right field line, I was noticing because it's curved in, so you're basically sitting right next to Ronald Acuña Jr. We ended up getting first base side, and that was a lot of fun. I don't know if y'all saw the video we shared of the Drake home run. We had to be watching. All right, so here we go. Pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play. Yes, sir. It is baseball time in the Grapefruit League, and the first pitch high and outside. For a ball, it's 1-0. As soon as the 1-0 right there for a strike, 1-1. Jose Barrios is the pitcher today for the Toronto Blue Jays. And MJ Melendez is leading off for the Mets. He's in right field today. 1-1 swing. Fouls it away. 1-2. Melendez is trying to make the team, and he's a former Royal. You'll probably remember him as being, they were looking at him as the next heir apparent catcher. And his first season and a half, he was really good at the plate, and he's fallen off. There's the 1-2. Swing. Lifts it. Down the left field line. Going deep. Back at the wall. Making the jumping catch
over his head as he was fading away from it is Schneider. And he'll take that out one day at a time, one away. Meanwhile, back in the Braves world, as we're going to be looking at that game, it's 0-0 in the top of the first there. Dominic Smith is at the plate for the Braves. Dominic Smith has gotten a base hit as the pitch on the way is inside to Mark Vientos. And that's a late change, because originally it was Mauricio. The ball gets him on the elbow. And he'll head on down to first. Runner at first, nobody out. And Mauricio batting third now. Pitch on the way, inside. 1-0. Righty-lefty matchup. Kicks and fires. Swing, chopper, back to the mound. It's going to be a 1-6-3 double play. Good defensive hop over there. Jimenez had to leap from a bad throw from Barrios, but he turned the two, and we'll be back in a flash. The Blue Jays grab the sticks when we return here on the BCR.
And there's one over here. Looks like it's holding some water. I think it's time to go.
Today we hop aboard the big train and learn more about one of baseball's best pitchers, Walter Perry Johnson. His sidearm motion made it difficult for right-handed hitters to follow because the ball looked like it was coming out of third base. His record 3,509 strikeouts would stand for more than 55 years before it was surpassed by three other Hall of Fame pitchers in 1983. Only Cy Young has won more games than him, and they remain the only pitchers to win 400 or more games. He had 12 20-win seasons, of which 10 of them occurred in a row. Twice he topped 30 wins. He is the all-time leader in shutouts with 110. He also holds the record for most wins in 1-0 games with 38. 65 times during his career he lost because his team failed to score a run. He won the American League MVP twice, which has only been done 3 times in history by a pitcher. He remains the only pitcher in history to pitch 2 40-plus consecutive scoreless innings. His 547 hits are the most by a full-time pitcher, which thanks to the DH will never be broken. He led the league in strikeouts, a major league record 12 times. After all that, where does Walter Johnson rank on your all-time pitchers list?
I think his role has been on George Brett for many, many years to sort of guide the principles of the organization.
We got action.
I think he loves being able to meet people.
And it drives me crazy. I'm trying to watch the game, and you're doing backflips and running around yelling and screaming.
He's such an icon in Kansas City. He's everybody's childhood.
You know what they call this room? Pine Tar Production.
Welcome back. Pitch on the way, stopped the bottom of the first inning. He's down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. Righty-lefty matchup. Clay Holmes versus Jimenez, and Jimenez bangs the ball off the plate. He is crouched down. He might have gotten the ball might have gotten a piece of it. Blue takes a second and slowly tosses the ball back to give him and they do have a trainer looking out at him. The Braves are 0-0 in the bottom of the first, and Bauman is on the mound. He's given up. He's facing the leadoff hitter. The Braves got one hit in the first from Dominic Smith, and that was it. As they have their, you can't even call that the B squad. The Braves sent them there. That's the D squad that they're over there, man. Might be the F squad. Good news with the Braves is that 3 of the 4 games this week that we're doing
on the Monday through Friday tilt are all home games. So that's pretty cool in itself, because we'll get to see a lot of. And as the spring goes on, the road games get more interesting, because you will get more guys who want to start really tuning it up. We've got the WBC next week. Braves are off on Tuesday, but other than that, I think we've got a broadcast just about every day next week. WBC, the USA starts on Friday. The WBC altogether begins on the 5th on Wednesday. They got weird times, 5 a.m. and 10 p.m., so we're going to wait till the USA plays the following day and bring you spring training action instead. First pitch on the way off of that injury timeout is swung on and fouled back out of play. It's 1-2. Jimenez at the plate. On deck is Clement, and then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. We didn't get a chance to get to the defense, so we'll do that in the next inning for Toronto. But for the Mets, left to right across the outfield, it's Morabito, Bay, and MJ Melendez. Around the horn, going left to right is the 1-2 pitch. Swing. Dribbles that foul down the first base line. Mauricio Brujan. Remember Brujan? He was with the Braves last year. And the second baseman, Clough, with Young at first and Senger behind the plate. The 1-2 down and away, 2-2. So 2-2 count. We'll carry this to 3 o'clock. By then, they're going to be putting all of the backups in. And we've got radio commitments until 3 o'clock, so we're going to carry this game until then and keep you up to date on what's going on with Atlanta, which is nothing right now. The 2-2 pitch fouls it away. There's one down in the bottom of the first. Braves, nothing. Here it's 0-0 in the bottom of the first. The 2-2 count to Jimenez, the seventh pitch of the at-bat. And Holmes fires it in. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 82 down and in. One away. It's always good to watch pay attention to the other teams that are going on in spring. You might see a player in spring that could end up being a trade chip, or someone the Braves can pick up off the waiver wire if you're just Braves fans. For those of y'all who love baseball, as the pitch on the way is right there at the knees, it's on the line. Clement bet at 277 last year, but remember, he had some big hits in the postseason. That was a fun postseason team to watch, the Toronto Blue Jays. The 0-1 swing, fouls it away. It's 0-2. I don't know if y'all saw this or not, but so the USA beat Canada for the gold medal in hockey, the first gold medal by the U.S. men's team since 1980, a Miracle on Ice. And the 0-2 pitch down and away, 1-2. We put the picture up on, I think it was our Facebook. I don't know if we put it on YouTube. I'll try to. I can't remember if we posted it there or not. But anyways, George Springer, who evidently is a big hockey fan, is the 1-2 pitch, down and away, 2-2. And I guess he'd been going back and forth with a lot of the Toronto Blue Jays about U.S. hockey, and when they won, he went into yesterday the facilities, the 2-2, and the dirt, 3-2. So full count to Clement, and he was talking smack heading into the facility with his USA hockey jersey on. That was funny enough. But then they showed him getting some at-bats yesterday in their spring training facilities, the 3-2. Inside, gets him high into the shoulder, and Clement will head on down to first. 1 on, 1 out for the Blue Jays. So he'll wear that one and try to get the Blue Jays started here in the first inning. 1 on, 1 out. So yesterday he goes to the plate to get some practice swings in, as they were not in a real game, a real spring training game. They were just getting some work in. As the first pitch on the way to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. But they still wear their baseball uniforms when they're out there practicing. And he goes to the plate, and he's, instead of having a Blue Jay jersey on, he had a USA Hockey jersey on. It is just so funny. The 1-0, down and away, 2-0. But someone told me who's a big Canada hockey fan, friend of ours, and he said what makes him so mad about it is the 2-0 pitch. Swing, chops over towards the infield on the left side, and that's going to be a 6. 4-3 double play. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will never beat that out. We'll be back in a flash, but he said that what made him so mad about the USA beating Canada hockey is that most Americans don't even care about the sport. We'll be back. 0-0 your score as we head to the second inning.
Do you ever just want to retire from being thick? God, I've been thick my whole damn life. Like, I want to switch it up, change the tempo, retire, collect my 401k and just settle down. I can't remember a time my thighs didn't touch. Is that a footprint on my wall?
I'm worried about any number of things, but this is one thing I never, ever worry about. When I read in the papers that escalating salaries or gambling are going to be the end of baseball, I love it because I've been hearing this or been reading about this for 130 years.
I don't think you can't do too much because we've done a whole lot of things to hurt it, but it's a type thing that I don't care how, but you can't kill it. You just can't kill baseball because when you get ready to kill baseball, something gonna come up, somebody gonna come up to snatch you. After the Black Sox scandal, here comes Ruth. I heard Ruth hit the ball. I'd never heard that sound before. And I was outside the fence, but it was a sound of the bat that I had never heard before in my life. That was Ruth hitting the ball. And the next time I heard that sound, I'm in Washington, D.C. I rushed out, and there was Josh Gibson hitting the ball. Now, I didn't hear it anymore. I'm in Kansas City. And I heard this sound one more time that I hadn't heard only twice in my life. Bo Jackson swinging at that, and now I heard this sound. It was a thrill for me. I said, here it is again. I heard it again. I've only heard it 3 times in my life, but now I'm living because I'm going to hear it again one day if I live long enough.
0-0 your score here in the Cactus Leagues, Mets and Blue Jays. Bears to go back to work. The Braves and the Baltimore Orioles are tied at 0 apiece in the top of the second. They have Kiersey at the plate, Baez versus Povich. That sounds like a ball game. 1-0. Swing and a miss. The 1-1 count, down and in, curveball misses, 2-1. Nothing your score, top of the second inning, the 2-1 pitch. Swing, pops it up. High into left field, not very deep, fighting the sun. Making the catch out there is Schneider. 1 away. I don't know if y'all caught the game yesterday. It was a late edition that they actually broadcasted that game. That's why didn't end up doing the game and went down there instead. And then we found out last minute that they were actually carrying the game. Originally, it wasn't announced. Is the first pitch on the way to Sanger's right there for a strike zone. So some of y'all may have caught it, but Acuna. So we're sitting not too far from the home plate on the first base side as the 0-1 pops it up. High over into the middle of the infield on the right side. Vladdy makes the catch. F3 in your scorecard, 2 down. And he hits a rocket and the wind definitely knocked it down. And on most days, it's definitely out. And it is spring training. You don't want a guy to blow out his hamstring. But he sat there. He stood at home plate and was watching the ball. And by the time he realized it wasn't leaving the yard, the first pitch on the way to Brujan, Vital Brujan, ex-Atlanta Brave last year, filling in for the mass unit that we had, swings and fouls it back. It's on 1. By the time he realized that the ball was not going to leave the yard, he just didn't have time to get to second base. Is the 0-1 down and in? 1. I was talking to some fans. What we're talking about this, like, that's not a big. I said no, but Walt Weiss should really set some kind of a tone for it at the beginning, because the 1-1 outside wide, 2-1. And I'm not saying he should have benched him in a spring training game. That's not what I'm saying. But I do think that he should have, and maybe he did it behind closed doors, but make it a very big point that that's not going to be acceptable as the 2-1 pitch. Pops it up down the line. Should be F7 in your scorecard, and that'll end the inning. So the Mets go down 1-2-3. We'll be back in a flash. More on the Acuna stuff when we come back. Blue Jays and Mets scoreless here in the Grapefruit.
Base out there in safety training and lose a limb on the job. Be a man.
Hey, I might be late to pick you guys up.
Why, do you have a job interview today, Daddy?
No, honey, I'll probably just be way too drunk.
That's good. We don't want you drinking and driving.
Oh, I'll be driving. I'll just be too faced to remember to pick you guys up.
The last conversation I ever had with my dad, the night before he died, if you knew what my dad was like, he wasn't, I love you and I'm sorry. He was a doer, not a talker. And he told me that he went through the same thing when he was a ball player. My dad was a really good baseball player. And this is how you get over this issue. You don't have a mental block. He said you have a temporary loss of confidence. And once the confidence comes back, this thing will dissipate. And so I started working on it in practice, just like he had told me. And I started getting my confidence back in practice. I actually switched them. I took on practice as a game. And so when game time came along, it was like, hey, I've already been through this. I was relaxing. And then when I got through that thing, I went on and I led the league in fielding in my position when I went to the American League. And I was in the top 5 fielding from then on in all the second basemen. So it was about conversations with my dad that helped me get over this. And then oddly enough, after my dad died, about 3 years later, I was talking to my mom about this conversation with my dad. And my mom and dad have been together since the 5th grade. And my mom told me, she said, your dad never had a throwing problem in his life. He just said that because he knew how much I revered his strength and his wisdom. And if he could go through it, then it's not so bad that I'm going through it. And that's how I got my confidence back, by somebody that was selfless enough, like my dad, to tell me this when he never went through a throwing problem, but it helped me get over it. And thankfully, I was one of the very few guys that went through this thing that got over it. A lot of guys don't get over this issue.
Welcome back. Alejandro Kirk. Captain Kirk takes the first pitch up top. Righty-righty matchup is Clay. Moves back out there for another inning of work. It's 1-0. Kirk batting .282 on the year. 2025, 50. Chops it over to short. That'll be an easy 6-3 put out, as Brujan did throw it in towards the dirt, but a good scoop by Young over there. Charlie, I actually have one, an old one. It's been hanging in my closet for years, but no, that was somebody. I don't know. I didn't know the person as the first pitch on the way is right there at the knees. Addison Barger takes the first strike. It's over 1. But I laughed like hell when I saw it. I was like, no, this guy is just out strutting his feathers. The 0-1 pitch. Swing, slices it foul. It's 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Righty-lefty matchup. The pitch on the way. Outside wide, 1-2. Meanwhile, over in the Braves-Orioles game, it's 0-0 in the bottom of the second. There's the pitch in the dirt. 2-2. Take a look and see. The Braves still just with the one hit from Dominic Smith. He's not likely to make the club. He's really only a first baseman. He's not that great of a hitting first baseman. He's got a good glove, but that's not something you're going to carry on a team like Atlanta when Olsen plays pretty much every day. He's got the longest consecutive streak. He's someone they'd like to keep down in the minors, but we'll see what happens about that. He might end up getting pushed across waivers. 3-2 count. Righty-lefty matchup. Here's the pitch. High and out of the zone, ball 4, and he'll head on down to first. One on, nobody out. And that'll bring a guy that I've been interested to see. Kazuma Okamoto, the third baseman. 327, 15 home runs last year in 69 games in the Japanese league. The first pitch on the way to Okamoto. Foul back out of play. It's on 1. They don't play the volume of games that we play here in the majors. The 0-1 pitch. Outside wide, 1. So you see his numbers, he had 15 home runs. Well, if you basically play that out, that's essentially somewhere between 32, 33 home runs for a regular season. Now, granted, better pitching in the majors is the 1-1 pitch. Up top for a strike, it's 1-2. But we also saw firsthand in the World Series, Yamamoto showing you that, yes, there are some really good pitchers and pitching prospects in the Japanese league. He's going to fire it over to first real quick. Man, that is close. Barger just got underneath that tag. 0-0 your score. 1-2 count, 1 out. Bauman, by the way, has gone 1 2/3 innings with 1 strikeout in the Braves Orioles. This is the pitch on the way. Swing! That ball is lifted high and deep. Going back on the track. Zip, boom, bam, it's gone. Okamoto, how do you do? A hanger, a banger, she gone. Slap 2 on the board. Toronto Blue Jays take that 2-0 lead. He hit that thing dead center on a hanger. First pitch on the way to Varsho is inside for a ball. Kicks and fires, swing, chopper back up the middle. Should be an easy 6-3 for Brujan. He fires it across the diamond, and it is 2 down. We have any Mets fans in the chat? We have created Mets sound bites. We'll have them for all the teams this year. We'll be doing a lot of out-of-town broadcasts, and as we go along, when we do an out-of-town for a team, we will create them. First pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Now, with that being said, don't expect to hear a bunch of Let's Go Mets when they're playing the Braves. But if they're playing the Phillies or whoever, we don't mind playing it for them. The 0-1. Snaps one there on the outer edge. It's 0-2. The thing about Clay Holmes, he's pretty interesting because the Mets rotation is still up in question who's going to get the starting nods. There's a chance he could still end up in the bullpen, but they're giving him every opportunity to begin the season in the rotation to go to. Down and away, 1-2. If you remember last year, he started off hot and was really good for the Mets for the first half of the season. And he fell apart as the Mets did, and their huge wild card lead vanished, and they missed the postseason. 1-2 pitch, that ball popped deep down the left field line, foul territory, and drifting in, making the catch over the shoulder is Mauricio, and that'll end the inning. But not before the Toronto Blue Jays put 2 on the board. It's 2-0. Old Canada over the Big Apple.
Y'all, I can't believe my mama used to drop me off at the skating rink with no cash, no phone, and go home and wait for a collect call from, "Hey, Mama, I'm ready. You can come and pick me up now."
What's your biggest pet peeve that really isn't that serious, but it still annoys the hell out of you? I'll go first. I don't know why, but it really, really bugs me when someone takes their food out of the microwave before the time is up, and then they just leave the remaining time up there. Like, come on, dude. Reset the damn thing so I can see what time it is without having to glance at my phone.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah?
What's a transgender athlete?
It's a dude who wants to win so bad, he pretends to be a girl.
I'm not being asked to do anything that none of us hasn't done before in our own kitchens in our own home. Now quick, kill 5 eels. What? I'm serious. Every restaurant critic in Seattle is out there and they all want anguilla, so start killing eels. Wait. How do you suggest I do that? How do I know you're the chef? Throw a toaster in the damn tank for all I care.
It is played everywhere. In parks and playgrounds and prison yards. In back alleys and farmers' fields, by small children and old men, raw amateurs and millionaire professionals. It is a leisurely game that demands blinding speed, the only game in which the defense has the ball. It follows the seasons, beginning each year with the fond expectancy of springtime, ending with the hard facts of autumn. It is a haunted game in which every player is measured against the ghosts of all who have gone before. Most of all, it is about time and timelessness, speed and grace, failure and loss, imperishable hope and coming home.
Welcome back. As we begin the top of the third inning, 2-0. Toronto leads it. Mets are at the plate. Barrio's still on the bump. Cuff takes one their first strike. It's 0-1, the 0-1. Inside 1-1. 0-0 still in the Braves-Orioles game. They are in the third inning. Pitch on the way, swung on. That ball's going to get dribbled through the infield. And a leadoff single for the Mets. So 1 on, nobody out. Braves have gotten a second base hit in that ball game. See who it was? It was Chunk. First pitch on the way is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. We're sitting next to some Cardinal fans that came with other Braves fans. And it was funny because the reaction of people when Aaron Chunk came to the bat, they were like, who the hell is this? Because it was strange as the 0-1 misses high, runner goes, throw down to second base, and that's going to be a stolen base for the Mets as they get a runner into scoring position. Good jump over there. By Clough. Morabito digs in as the 1-1 pitch is right there at the knees. 1-2. 1-2 count. Barrios' 24th pitch of the day. Swing! Rattles it foul off the face mask of Kirk. It'll bounce towards the first base dugout. 1-2. Flips it over there. Swing. Lifts that. High and out of play. Berrios flips and delivers, and that ball is rolled foul down the third base line. Do it again. 2-0 your score. Toronto leads it. We'll hit the out-of-town scoreboard as we go along as well. Red Sox and Rays are scoreless in the third. Twins and Tigers, they're in the third. No runs there. 1-2. That ball's popped back foul. So Morbido fighting off a lot of pitches by Berrios. Top of the third there, and the Braves and Orioles are 0-0 in the third. The Braves B squad. We talked about the F squad. Berrios steps off the hill and chases the runner back to second. 1-2 count. Cardinals and Marlins are tied at 1. As the pitch on the way, swing. That ball's lifted towards left center field. That's going to get down, fall for a base hit, and the Mets will score. And they'll put one on the board, and it's 2-1. Toronto with the lead, but the Mets cut the lead in half. High fly ball that just drops out there into right center field. They were playing, the entire outfield was playing straight away. You don't see that a lot anymore. Usually they're shaded one way or the other. There was nobody over there to get it. Lukes did grab it before it got to the wall, so he kept the runner at first. So it turns into a long RBI single. Morbido. That'll bring Bay to the plate. Righty-lefty matchup. Pitch on the way. He's down and in for a ball. It's 1 out. Jihan Bay. Korean born as the runner goes, and that ball is going to get thrown down to second base and just underneath the tag, and it's another stolen base, and the Mets have the tying run scoring position. Jihan Bay, just 23 years old. He only had 20 at-bats last season in the major leagues. The 2-0 pitch swing, chops it down the first base line, foul. We'll do it again, 2-1. Braves have taken a 2-0 lead in the third. RBIs by Dominic Smith and Eli White. They have a 2-0 lead over the Orioles. Righty-lefty matchup, the 2-1 pitch here in the Toronto Mets game. That ball's chopped down the first baseline, foul, 2-2. Yankees lead the Pirates 4-1 in the second. Mets Cardinals 1-1 in the third. Red Sox Rays are scoreless in the third. Later on this afternoon, there's 6 different games starting in the 3 o'clock hour. In the Cactus League is the 2-2 down and in, 3-2. And then tonight at 6:05, if you're looking for something to catch, it's Phillies and Nationals, 6:05 p.m. Payoff pitch. Right there, top of the zone. Caught, looking, strike 3. 1 away. Good pitch by Berrios. Good frame job by Kirk, but it did look like it hit the zone. Will not be a challenge. First pitch on the way, swinging, lifted high into left center field. That ball's going to get down for a base hit, and that's going to tie the game. Throw comes into second. It's going to be a head-first slide by MJ Melendez, an RBI double by MJ, and the Mets have tied the game here in the top of the third. Good piece of hitting there by MJ Melendez. Righty-righty matchup now. Vientos, the batter, takes the first pitch just off the plate for a ball. It's 1-0. And the ball's going to get away, and the runner from second runs to third. What in the world happened there? There was some debris. The ball got away. There was a throw to second base. And it was the stuff that the runner had in his pocket fell out. I thought there was something. I thought we were about to have a controversy here, but I believe it was just his gloves. Almost looked like the old. Remember when? You'd have to be a real old head like me to remember this, but there's a pitch on the way. He's down in the dirt for a ball. It's 2-0. 2-0 count. Runner at third. 1 out. Do you remember the nail file falling out of the back of the pocket on the pitcher's mound while the umpires were inspecting? Is the 2-1? Pitch called right there for a strike. Charlie, I think Eli stays. I think he's going to be one of the guys on the roster as the pitch on the way, swing and a miss, 2-2. You look at the way they have the roster constructed, and I think there's a real reason why they went out and they added as a designated hitter type to Yastrzemski, right? Is the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 down. Think about how you could platoon that even after some of our guys come off the IL. Eli is much better suited facing left-handed pitching. Not that he can't face a right-hander, but he's so much better against left-handed pitching. And Yastrzemski, exact opposite. Hits righties really well, struggles a bit against lefties. First pitch from Barrios to Mauricio is right there for a strike. It's over. I was impressed yesterday at the game with Dubon's glove skills. He made some nice plays yesterday. It was the 1-0. Outside wide 2. Riley fumbled the ball early on. I think it was the first inning, may have been the second. But it was a wet field. We were coming off a rain delay. But what I was more concerned about is the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss up top, letter high, 2-1. 2 outs, runner at third, a 2-2 score. Mets and Blue Jays tied here in the top of the third. There was a chopper hit back to the mound, and Sale leaped up to grab it as the 2-1. Inside, ball 3. So a 3-1 count to Mauricio. And the first thing that popped in my mind is, if you remember when he went diving for that one bleeder into the infield in a real game last year, and we lost him for over 2 months. It's the 3-1. Chops it foul. I think he wins the Cy Young again, or at least has at least top 2 or 3 finish if he doesn't get that injury. But thankfully he hopped and he couldn't get to it and just let it go. Right after that ball goes over his head, and Riley was trying to scoop it up as the payoff pitch. Swing, chops it foul. And he tumbled, and the first thing goes to your mind is, man, I'm glad that Sale didn't go leaping for that and crack his ribs again, but Riley tumbling in like that. He has been made of glass the last couple of years. Last thing you need is an injury to start off the spring for him. Payoff pitch, down and in, ball 4, so he'll head on down to first. Runners on the corners and 2 outs. We'll see if they stick with Barrios. He's at 47 pitches in the 3rd inning. And I think that's going to be it. They're going to go ahead and get him out of here. You do have the ability, if you want him to go back out in the next inning in spring training, you can. But this early in the spring, Barrios is probably done. We'll be back in a flash here on the BCR. 2-2 your score, Mets and Blue Jays, and the Braves lead the Orioles 2-0. They're in the 3rd.
I'm not always an anxious person. I mean, as long as the house is clean and I've had enough sleep and I'm not worried about how much money is in my bank account and absolutely nothing is overstimulating me, I'm actually super chill.
December 20th, South Carolina became the first state to secede from the Union in 1860, setting the stage for the Civil War. This was fitting as South Carolina had been at the center of the nullification crisis nearly 30 years earlier when John C. Calhoun and President Andrew Jackson clashed over federal authority and states' rights. The raid on Harper's Ferry by John Brown in 1859 further convinced many Southerners that slavery could only be protected by controlling the federal government. However, at the 1860 Democratic National Convention held in South Carolina, the party fractured over the issue of slavery, splitting into Northern and Southern factions. This division allowed the presidential race to feature 4 candidates, paving the way for Abraham Lincoln to win with less than a majority of the popular vote. To the South, Lincoln's election meant a loss of control, and South Carolina's secession led to a chain reaction of Southern states leaving the Union, forever altering U.S. history. And while the nation plunged into its bloodiest conflict ever, it led to what Lincoln called a new birth of freedom.
The life he's gotten to live, I think he really loves it. And Kansas City's the perfect place for him.
Brett's lived in Kansas City just about as long as he's been a Royal. It's where he still makes his home today, where his family roots feel the strongest.
We try to have dinner every Sunday night. Every Sunday night, usually. We try to.
All the boys live within a couple miles of us, and we try to get together as a family once a week for dinner. We call it family dinner, and usually on a Sunday.
This is a tri-tip. It's a really popular dish in California. Earlier, I got some garlic cloves and sliced them up real thin and got some rosemary. We'll take it to 120, and then we're going to let it breathe a little bit.
Welcome back. First pitch on the way. Misses outside for a ball. It's 1-0. 1-0. In to face Young. Right there up top, 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Down and in. It's still 2-0 Braves over the Orioles. They're heading to the 4th. 2-1 pitch. Right there at the knees. If you go around, he did. 2-2. Bauman went 2 innings, 1 strikeout, and they've got Suarez in now pitching. Jose, not Robert, for the Braves. The 2-2 throw goes down to 3rd. And we got a double steal throw down to 2nd, and they're going to come home. And did he get him? Smoke him if you got him. He got him. So they attempted the double steal, almost pulled it off, but a good throw by Jimenez back to Kirk down at home plate. The Mets may be challenging this. Looked like a pretty clean play. Yeah, I think he got it. He tried to move his hand, do a swim move, but that is going to be impossible to overturn, especially in the spring training games. We'll be back in a flash. 2-2 your score here on the BCR.
Do not flirt with me because I will develop a crush on you, and that is a threat.
What if I told you that Mark Fidrich wasn't the only bird flying around the baseball field in the late 1970s? Here is the short baseball career of Larry Bird. After leading the Sycamores basketball team to a 33-1 record, Larry was razzed by the head coach of the baseball team at that time about how often he was icing his body. The coach would even go as far as saying anybody could play basketball and that baseball was the harder of the two sports. This led to a dare Bird wouldn't turn down. Would he be able to play college baseball for Indiana State? With a non-conference doubleheader coming up against Kentucky Wesleyan, the time and the place were set. Wearing the number 24 instead of his legendary 33, he would take the field in the second game of a doubleheader. Bird would play first base, and while playing there, he made 9 putouts. His first at-bat ended with a strikeout and a trip back to the dugout. In his second at-bat, he would get his redemption when he drilled a single up the middle that plated 2 runs. After being told to take it easy in the field, he went after an infield pop-up between first base and home plate. Both Larry and the catcher would collide and remain down for several minutes. Bird would eventually get up. It was later confirmed he just got the wind knocked out of him. Not taking any more chances, he was taken out of the game. And just like that, the short baseball career of Larry Bird was over before it started. 2 months later, he would sign an NBA contract with the Boston Celtics, and the rest is history.
The idea that home plate has a little roof. A little roof, it has a little roof. It's a little house. It brings us back to where we're safe and where we care and where we're cared about, where we're loved. Coming home on a baseball diamond's pretty darn dramatic. You feel immense relief to have gotten out of all those hazards out there. Between first and third is hazardous territory, and then third home is joy.
Welcome back. First pitch to Schneider, misses down and away. It's 1-0. Righty-righty matchup. Clay Holmes fires for 1-0 high and about eyeball high. He's running the bottom of the third, 2-2 your score. 2-0. Clay Holmes at 36 pitches. So they're looking to get probably a good 40, maybe 45 out of him. 2-0. Top four strikes. 2-0. Braves lead the Orioles 2-0 in the fourth. Not a whole lot of action going on there. The Braves have collected 4 hits. Is the pitch right there for a strike, 2-2. Smith has a hit for Atlanta. Actually has 2 hits. Eli has 1. And Chunk has 1. 2-2 count. Swing lifts it high and deep into left field, but not going to be deep enough. Drifting in, fighting the sun and the wind, which is really the biggest hazards here in spring training across the league, especially here in Florida. It's going to be F7 your scorecard, 2 down. Or 1 down, excuse me. They have Jose Suarez in the game now for Atlanta, so we'll keep an eye on that. As the first pitch is down in for a ball, it's 1-0. Remember Suarez is 1-0 down and into it. He had 7 appearances for Atlanta in long relief. He did pretty well, actually. They were just always low leverage innings, so it doesn't stick out to you. But he had a 1.86 ERA as the 2-0 pitch swung on, chops it over to first. That's going to be a 3-1 put out. Holmes covering the bag, 2 down. But what I remember the most about it is that most of those that he brought in were always, the game was pretty much decided one way or the other. Sometimes you don't get honest at-bats from who you're facing because they're going through the motions because they're ready just to get on the bus or head to the hotel. You're losing a lot of time. Pitch on the way. Holmes versus Clement now, and pitch misses inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Takes some fire, swing and miss. 1-1 count. chops it foul. 1-2. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike three, and that'll end the inning. We'll be back in a flash. 2-2 your score. We go to the top of the fourth. Mets will grab the bats when we return.
When guys pee, do they hold it like a joint or like a cigarette?
Market analysis.
All right, we're already 2 minutes over and we really need to wrap this up. So if you could send the action items and your notes as a follow-up to the team, that'd be great.
Well, okay, well, no one, I mean, I didn't take any notes for this meeting. No.
That's a shocker.
Well, no
what
one,
have you been doing this entire time then?
I would like to plead the fourth.
You want protections from unlawful search and seizure? That doesn't make any sense.
All right, well, objection?
We're not in a courtroom, so...
Thank you. So case dismissed. I think we can move on.
No, case not dismissed. Did you write anything down at all?
Yes, I did.
Okay, well, can we see what you have written? I'm your boss. I'd like to see what notes you took.
Okay, objection and incompetence. I mean, this is...
Well, it would have been a little bit better if I knew.
It would have been better if you listened.
When he makes these kind of comments, he really, truly does not know what he's talking about, in all honesty, and that's why he makes such asinine comments, because he truly doesn't know.
Always injured. I mean, damn, it's baseball. Maybe it's karma for him that he stayed with the Angels.
When I was in Philly, okay, when I was in the Philadelphia clubhouse, we had a traveling secretary, Frank the Tank. Well, I got this conversation with him about Stephen A. Smith one day. I said, well, how come he never comes in the clubhouse anymore? And he says to me, oh, no, we had to kick him out of the clubhouse. I said, oh, really? I said, y'all kicked him out of the clubhouse. I said, well, why did y'all kick him out of the clubhouse? And he proceeds to tell me that he was doing all kind of shady shit, like going through the manager's office, and when he wasn't in there, going through the training room, pulling out reports and all kind of places he shouldn't have been. So I've always looked at this guy like a complete joke.
Welcome back. Braden Fisher, the right-hander, comes on for the Toronto Blue Jays, and he flips the first pitch up top to Young. Righty-lefty matchup. Misses high. It's 1-0. Foul right. 1-1 count. Pitch right there at the knees. Did not get the call to him. When you look at we were talking about Eli possibly making the team or not. When you look at the Braves' depth and what they're most likely to do with the final rosters, the 2-1 fouls are back to him too. You just got to figure that Eli's part of the plan. So you're talking about carrying Eli, Yaz, Profar, Harris, and Acuna. That's 5 outfielders. Is the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 away. You'll carry obviously 2 catchers. Murphy will be on the bench. I'll be on the IL start the season. So Jonah Heim most likely is who you end up carrying. He would have to really be unimpressive in the spring to not have him as your backup catcher. Pitch on the way to Sanger is swing and a miss off the plate. It's 0-1. And then the question becomes, how do they build the rest of it out as the 0-1 misses high? 1-1. When I look at the Braves roster, some interesting angles that they could take with it. 1-1 pitch. Swing, rips it over towards third. This will be a 5-3 put out. Easy cheesy. 2 down. So if you've got 2 extra outfielders and you start looking at Mauricio Dubon, let's just pencil him in as the everyday shortstop, with Riley and Ozzie and Olsen around the horn. As the pitch outside, high and wide, 1-0. Vital Brujan, the batter. The question becomes, who are you keeping outside of that? I don't think, as the 1-0 misses high tuna, I don't think Nacho Alvarez makes the team because I believe they want him to get every day at bats, and he's not going to get that sitting on the bench. You're better off having him getting every day at bats down on the farm, so if someone does get injured, he can come up and be ready to roll. 2-0 misses. 3-0. So you look at guys that are going to be fighting for that final spot, guys like Brett Wisely, who can play several spots all over the infield, primarily known as a second baseman, but you can move him around. Three-1 count. Swing and a miss. 87 mile an hour. Cutter up top, full count. Some of the other guys that'll have a shot to make the team is the payoff pitch, misses high and out of the zone, ball 4. So he'll head on down to first. Runner at first, 2 outs, 2-2 your score. Pitch on the way is right there at the knees. 1-1. Clough, the batter, he's 1 for 1 on the day. You got Jorge Mateo. Who's a guy who could make the squad as well. He is an infielder, a utility infielder. Bang, right there at the knees. Drop the slider in him. It's 0-2. Kyle Farmer's a guy that a lot of folks believe has a real solid chance of making the Braves squad as that extra infielder. You also have Johnny Gill, but he's so young, I think they're going to want to keep him down on the farm and get him developed. So I'm not even looking at him as a real shot. The reason why Aaron Chunk is getting all these at bats is they really want to see what he's got. Remember, you've always got Luke Williams. Worst case scenario is the 0-2. Swing, chops it through the infield. Sliding stop over there by Clement to keep it from rolling to the right field. So the runners will be safe. They're on the corners. That stop by Clement prevented a run from scoring. But the Mets do have runners on the corners, and there are 2 outs. They're going to have a quick mound visit out there. Braves still 2-0 over the Orioles. Man, what a dud that game is. They haven't had another hit since we brought it up a couple of innings ago. It's 2-0 Atlanta. The Orioles have yet to get a base hit, and the Braves have been stuck on 4 for a minute. Suarez pitched 2 scoreless innings with 3 strikeouts, but he also walked 2. That's not going to help him make any kind of squad. The 2-2. Down and away. 2-2 your score. When you're looking at in the early part of the season, the depth that the Braves are going to try to use is the 1-0's bang back foul 1-on-1. The biggest thing they're going to try to do is have guys that can come in, they can fill defensive and pinch running roles. Because eventually you're going to get Kim at short, which makes Dubon go to the bench. He's also going to get a lot of starts all over the diamond. And then is the 1-1 inside. Misses. And then you're going to end up with Sean Murphy coming back. So whoever you end up keeping on the opening day roster is the 2-1, bangs foul 2-2. You know at some point you're most likely going to end up DFAing or trading Jonah Heim. And you're going to end up cutting loose whoever it is that's spelling what Dubon will be doing in the future when Kim comes back in his everyday role. The 2-2. Right there for a strike 3. Dropped the slider into the knees, and he got caught looking. We'll be back in a flash. It's 2-2. Blue Jays and Mets. We'll get you an update when we return on the Braves and Orioles.
So I was talking to this girl, and she was like, I like men and women, but for some reason I'm still single. And I was like, well, it looks like you're still by yourself.
Hey, back in the day, we used to throw toilet paper all over people's houses for pranks. Now I'm just trying to figure out how to stretch out this last roll until payday.
Milk is the fastest liquid on earth. It's pasteurized before we can even see it.
Dan, what? I need your help. I've tried to handle this myself, but I have one teacher that is really intimidating and pushes me pretty hard about my belief.
About what?
About everything. He just starts an argument with me in class and tries to put me down about every topic. You know, last week he made me give a talk about the Bud Light news story in front of the class, and then he made fun of my opinions for it. So I have a meeting with him in his classroom today at lunch. It's like I want to stand my ground, but he's getting louder and tougher now that I'm a senior and my year is coming to an end. It's like I just don't know how to handle it, Dad. I'm really struggling.
You handle it with me standing behind you. I'll be there for your meeting.
It's passed along from parents to children. My father was a football fan, but my mother was a baseball fan, so I went to ball games with my mother. She passed along her sense of the game. I'll pass it along to my son. It is a family heirloom. It is America's family heirloom because it goes back so far. But the thing that's most important about that is that we respect the people of other generations in baseball, perhaps more than we respect other generations in other fields in this country. We've been called a disposable society, but we don't dispose of Babe Ruth. We don't dispose of Walter Johnson. We treat them as though they are equals and contemporaries though they're dead. That's a very special thing to hand on to children.
You're listening to Braves Country Radio with Mac McGee, the classic call of Braves Country baseball. Welcome back. First pitch on the way. Up top, misses high for a ball. It's 1-0. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., righty versus Clay Holmes, back out their fourth inning. 47 pitches, excuse me. Pitch is just off the plate, ball 2-0. 2-0 count. I'll be racing home from work tomorrow to get you to the Braves-Tigers game, 12:45, but I should get here just in time to get everything started. As the 2-0 misses 3-0. Braves lead Orioles 2-0. Still not a hit since we've brought it up way back in the third inning when they had 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. And the pitch is inside, ball 4, so he'll head on down to first. First pitch on the way to Alejandro Kirk. Misses high, it's 1-0. flips it up there. Slider on the outer edge. 1-1. 1-1 count. Swing. Chopper back to the mound off the glove of Holmes. He'll grab it, flip it to first. Runner at first will be safe at second. So the go-ahead runner, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., is in scoring position at second base with one away. One down. Barger, the batter, the number 5 hitter, righty-lefty, pitch on the way. Up top for a strike. It's 0-1. Iron Lung, I'm going to have to ask you not to get into Drake Baldwin's head with all your armchair coaching. Saw him hit 2 rockets yesterday. He's doing just fine. The 0-1. Outside wide. 1-1. If we have to get a restraining order to keep you away from him, we will. They had mentioned yesterday morning that a couple of the coaches on the coaching staff, it's right there, or for a strike it's 1-2. He is about as locked in as anybody, which is great to see this early in the spring. You just hope it doesn't peak and valley and all that kind of stuff. But he put some great swings on the ball. And of course, spring training, it's hard to decipher as 1-2 count to Barger with 1 out, runner at second. Looks like they might be challenging this. I think that's the indication you get when they do the ABS they are challenging it. The call is overturned, so a good challenge there by the Mets. And Barger will head to the dugout. That ball just got a piece of the zone. 2 down. I don't want you putting information about him behind the plate either, because then that's going to affect his hitting. We're gonna head to a pitching change. We'll be back in a flash. The Mets and Blue Jays are tied at 2. Braves and Orioles still nothing has changed. In Baltimore's ballpark, it's 2-0, and no hits have been recorded in about 3 innings over there. We're going to take a really quick break, and we will be back here on the BCR. Mac McGee
and I, we're on the same team.
The Country Club for Braves Country Radio.
And we need more players. We need you to help us win the battle against hunger and poverty. You can sponsor
Braves Country Radio.
Teamwork is what
The Country Club for Braves Country Radio
is all about. And that's why we need you. For just $15 a month,
don't get greedy. Ask for $2.99.
you can sponsor a child just like
Braves Country Radio.
I've been able to really help.
Braves Country Radio.
And it feels so good. It's so easy. Just reach out now and start sending your love around the world.
The Country Club for Braves Country Radio.
To join our team, we really can bat 1,000.
Mac McGee.
Who's waiting for help. There's room on our team for you.
Haas Brewer is coming on for the Mets. Man, that's a name. Haas Brewer, the right-hander. 2.09 ERA in AAA last year. Righty-righty matchup. As Okamoto, who hit a 2-run shot his first time up. 431 feet, they're saying that home run rate. It took a long time to give those stats. That is a wow. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. 431. Man, that is doing it. The 0-2 count. Down and away. 1-2. Good block there by Singer. That thing went dead center. I guess, you know what? That thing probably is 430. I was doubting it at first, but they just showed the replay again. And it hit top center in the batter's eye behind center field. If that batter's eye is not there, that thing's going to keep. That thing's probably rolling into your backyard about now. 1-2 count. Outside wide, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, and that'll end the inning. We'll head to the top of the 5th. Mets and Blue Jays all knotted up at 2. It's still 2-0 in the Baltimore-Atlanta game. Baltimore's finally gotten a base hit. Woohoo! We'll be back in a flash.
Today is the day. We're going to be a little less of a bitch. We're going to be a little more cool-headed. We're going to be a little more mild-mannered. I mean, probably not, but, you know, we can be hopeful.
People I know are starting to follow me. That's not good. If you know me in real life, I apologize in advance, because things are weird on here.
Hey, I don't know who needs to hear this, but go put that laundry in the dryer before you wind up leaving it too long and have to rewash it.
In every era of baseball history, there is one pitcher who stands above the rest. For over 4 decades, that pitcher was John Donaldson. With the Tennessee Rats, he went 44-3. Included in those wins were a 31 and a 27 strikeout performance. Buck O'Neil claimed he threw a slider 20 years before anyone else did. John McGraw once said he was the greatest he had ever seen. 73% of his starts resulted in a win. 92% of them ended in a complete game. He once threw a fastball so hard it broke his catcher's hand. How about we close this off with some stats? 413 wins, 5,091 strikeouts, and 2 perfect games. Without question, I believe Donaldson should be in the conversation for top pitchers of all time. What do you think? Is he one of the best of all time?
Why did the man fall down the well? Because he couldn't see that well.
Baseball, because of the sense of its continuity over the space of America and the time of America. This is a place where memory gathers. It's a place that we can return to. And it's a place that we can even imagine existing in the future. I think we have some hope that baseball might look like baseball 100 years from now.
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back. First pitch on the way is right there for a strike from Fluharty. The southpaw had a pretty good postseason. Had a 4.44 ERA in the regular season last year. The lefty fires it up there to Bay and pops out of the glove of Kirk. They do not get to call any chance of framing that one out the window. It's going to 1-1 count. Kicks and fires. Up top, misses high. 2-0. Tell you what, though, if you want to, you end up going to the Braves game, you go to that, man, stay out of the gift shops. That's all I can tell you. 2-1. Swing, rattles it foul, 2-2. We had such bad luck on this trip. Number one with the bullet was at 3-something in the morning in the hotel, the fire alarm started chirping. Is it 2-2? Fouls it away. So my wife wakes me up to ask me if I can hear that. I was like, well, I can now. Thanks for waking me up. And it's chirping like every 5 minutes like it does. So called down to the desk, and the 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, 1 away. Good high heat there by Florida. And the girl working the desk on the overnight, she was about as friendly as a mountain lion. Anyways, long story short, she finally tells us that she'll give us another room to flip over to. I'm like, why doesn't someone just give me a damn 9-volt battery and I can fix the damn thing? But anyways, as the pitch right there for a strike, it's 0-1. She gives us the card, and I was fiddling with the thing and finally got it to stop, because even after the battery was taken out, because it was hardwired in, it was still beeping. It's the 0-1. Swing, miss, it's 0-2. And I don't know what I did. Luck is all I can tell you. I just hit the buttons enough times in the right sequence, and it quit beeping. So we ended up staying in the room, but lost a lot of sleep because of all the nonsense. And then, of course, you get the rain delay, so we lost an hour there. As the 0-2 swing, fouls it back. We had to get back, so we ended up having to leave around it was right around the 5th or 6th inning. We still had the 1-0 lead when we left. That's all I can tell you. We got in the car to listen to the rest of the game on the ride home. Damn grand slam, just as we're getting out of the facility. Is the 0-2 swing and a miss, strike 3. So 2 strikeouts here for Fluharty coming out of the pen. But on top of all that, man, you go to that club, the gift shop. They think very highly of a whole lot of nothing in that place. Speaking of that, we are working on the team gift shop here, the BCR gift shop. We should have that up and running by opening day. I hope to have it up a little earlier, because the first pitch is a swing and miss. It's on one. We're trying to figure out the best way to go about it, because the way YouTube does their junk, it makes it difficult. The 0-1, down and away, 1. So a 1-1 count. Pitch on the way, 1-2. Yeah, I bought a share too, Iron Line, several years ago. We talked about it before. I bought one share several years ago just to be able to say that I was part over the Braves. But 1-2 pitch, swing, lifts it high and deep into left field, and a running catch, F7 in your scorecard. That'll end the inning. We'll talk about that when we come back. But essentially, it's a bad stock to own. We'll get into that when we come back.
Well, what are y'all doing? Screwing?
I don't play that. I was just mad. You know I ain't mean it. Because why the fuck would you put my dog up for adoption, Tawanda? You had to mean that. An hour ago, my granny was a bald head, but now you want to go get seafood. Girl, you. Because my granny got a full head of hair. You. If you mad, throw a shoe. Why you in here punching TVs? Go get your damn purse, because I just got that TV for Black Friday. You mean the world to me. I'll never do that again. You said that when you tried to hit me with your car at Target. You're out of control.
We're here at spring training. Let's check in on Anthony Rendon real quick.
That's never been a top priority for me. This is a job. So I do this to make a living. I don't want to talk to you guys at 7 in the morning or whatever time it is.
Do you want to be here playing baseball?
I have answered your question. So why do you keep thinking at it?
Oh, yeah, you technically answered it.
This ass wants to come out and say, I wouldn't wish this life on anybody. I went from almost laughing to this gentleman to now despising this man. I'm angry on behalf of anyone who actually goes to work, God forbid, 2 to 3 jobs to put food on the table and pay rent and make sure their kids have what they need to go to school and barely are getting by. That's the life I don't wish on somebody, you ass. Why would you say something this out loud on the day in which you are just now showing up for work for the beginning of the season? Read the room.
The fun of recalling something that you saw 5 days ago or 5 years ago or a lifetime ago, knowing that that's there to be plucked back into your life in an instant. Oh God, that's rare.
What's up, Braves country? Looking forward to a great Atlanta Braves season. See y'all at the ballpark. Love y'all.
Two to 2 your score. The first pitch misses to Varsho for a ball. It's 1-0. Righty-lefty matchup. Varsho 0 for 1 on the day. Takes a strike right there. They set up on the inside. Just misses inside, too. Well, Richard, you're going to have to set up an account. I don't think they're going to let you pay cash out of your wallet to buy one of this stuff. 2-1 misses high, 3-1. That's another problem with the darn with the Braves shop. They don't accept cash. So, is it 3-1? Fouls it back, 3-2. I'm a firm believer that if you're paying cash, you spend less, right? Because you go into the Brave shop, and let's say you decide, you know what, I'm gonna treat myself. I came down here to this game. Maybe I got $100 to spend. I'm just gonna take the cash and away we go. But when you start paying with the card, it's like, oh, it doesn't exist. It's free money. And the next thing you know, you're like, what the hell did I just buy? 3-2 count. Their golf shirts that they had in there averaged as it swung on. Pops it up down the left field line, bending, running in and making the running catch. Nice catch out there in left field by Morabito. That was an impressive play. He had to climb into the netting area on the dead run, and it appears that he's okay. I won't say he slammed into the wall over there, but he definitely didn't go in there gingerly. Their golf shirts in there, the low end was around 65, but there were only a couple of those, and they really were the worst of the worst that they had. Most of them were somewhere between $90 and $160. 0-1 count to Lukes. Nathan Lukes, who's 0 for 1 on the day, swing and a miss. Change up, it's 0-2. How do I feel about the Braves being public? Because they run it like a business, I think it's better to have a drunk billionaire. The 0-2 swing and a miss, strike 3. Back in the day, I used to say millionaire. I'd rather have a drunk millionaire. Give me a Ted Turner any day of the week over. Yeah, the unfortunate part about Ted Turner is that he comes with his baggage, mainly Jane Fonda, but give me a billionaire who wants to win and loves the game. You know, he hasn't won one yet, but Steve Cohen of the Mets grew up a Mets fan, and he's extremely well off. And you've got to respect the fact that he has spent money to try to help his team win. 1-0 right there for a strike. What we have to do is con Elon Musk into turning into a Braves fan. 1-1, up top for a strike, 1-2. The sky is the limit. Now, that's the reason why I'm in favor of a salary cap and a salary floor, for that matter. Is the 1-2, caught looking, strike 3. Schneider just sat there. He's got the best seat at home plate, watching the game go by. We'll be back in a flash. We head to the 6th inning. It's 2-2 here in the Grapefruit League. We'll update you on the Braves when we come back.
I don't get offended when people tell me that I look tired. I am tired, and God forbid I look like what I am. Maybe then someone will look at me across the room and go, should I bother her with my useless bullshit today? Maybe not. She looks a little bit tired. and then we'll all live happily ever after because on that day I was left alone.
Y'all, my 6th grade teacher used to tell me if I didn't do well in school, I would wind up working on the back of a garbage truck. Little does she know the garbage man actually makes more money than she does.
What did the buffalo say to his son when he left for college? Bison.
Hey Braves Country, this is Mac McGee with Braves Country Radio. We are bringing you pitch by pitch, play by play of your Atlanta Braves all year long. Please like and subscribe today. It's free and it helps us bring you more of the game we all love. Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball.
I've been worried sick.
Relax, honey. I just took him to the mall to hang out.
The mall closes at 9. It's 12 o'clock.
You stopped off for ice cream.
When the did we get ice cream?
Baseball means what those of us who hold it in our heart need it to mean. It can be a game, a pastime, or it can be something by which we measure the seasons of our lives, or it can be something that serves metaphorically for the battles, the wars, the triumphs, and the tragedies of any form of human conflict. I'm content for it to be a game. And I think that more than anything else tells me that there's something in the world that I can count on and that's never going to let me down.
Please like and subscribe today. It's free and it helps us bring you more. Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. 2-2 your score. Jorge Alcala will come in, the right-hander for the Blue Jays, a 6.22 ERA. 3 different teams last year, Minnesota, Boston, and St. Louis. He'll flip the first pitch inside for a ball. It's 1-0. We're doing a doubleheader on Thursday. There's the 1-0. Swing, pops it up. High in the sky. And that ball's going to drop. They'll end up giving him a base hit. It's going to be a double, but realistically, somebody should have had it out there. It was a very shallow, high pop-up into center field. And both Jimenez and Lukes could not get to it. I think Jimenez just kind of lost it, and Lukes was under the impression he had it, so he pulled up a little bit. The next thing you know, the ball drops. The substitutions have begun for the Blue Jays. The top of the 6th here. Pitch outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. Mauricio gets that base hit, though. Put an asterisk on that. Relmer's going to come in and pitch run for him. And Toronto is a 1-0 inside to it. That was actually Harry out in center field, and that was actually Cowles at short. They both misplaced that ball. Everybody in the Toronto Blue Jays starting lineup is out of the game. The 2-0 count. Inside high. It's one of the reasons why we talk about doing just 2 hours of these spring training games, because now you start getting the guys who are not going to make any kind of a difference anyway. The Braves now trail 3-2. And the 3-0 pitch misses inside for a ball four, so he'll head on down to second. Runners at first and second. Nobody out. See who gave up the runs. All 3 earned runs were by Hunter Stratton, who was actually pretty decent for the Braves last year. He pitched a third of an inning and gave up 3 runs. See how they got those runs across. 2 RBIs by Taylor Ward and 1 RBI by Tyler O'Neill. Nobody has left the yard in that game. It's 3-2. They're heading to the 6th. Braves trail the Birds. First pitch right there to Carson Benj is in for a strike. It's 0-1. Righty-lefty matchup. Benj in for Sanger. 0-1. Swing. Fouls it back. It's 0-2. So we'll be taking you to the top of the hour, and then we got to jump off. I got some things I got to look at, including I got a couple of things I'm looking at to figure out when we're looking to open up our online store. If we're going to do it directly on YouTube, or if we're going to find an alternate site that we'll just share each time. The 0-2 count in the dirt, 1-2. The problem with putting it on YouTube is that they take a huge cut. And it's like, it's not even worth going through the nonsense. And we don't want to have to jack up the prices, because after seeing those prices at the Braves gift shop, they're not going to be anywhere near those ridiculous prices, but we want people to have stuff that's affordable. The 1-2, swing, slices a foul. No, Juan Soto is not in the lineup down south. 1-2 count. 2-2 your score. The Mets they've got several guys listed, but I don't think they made the track. So you see this a lot in spring training, where you'll have like 40 guys on the bench, but they only brought 15 over in a spring training game on the bus. Is the pitch on the way, swing and a miss, strike 3, 1 away. Runners on first and second, 1 out. The Mets, as far as what you would consider a starter for the Mets this year, possible starter, Vientos was the designated hitter today. And MJ Melendez, who's probably going to make the team, started in right field, although I don't expect him to get a ton of starts. First pitch misses up top to Vital Brujan. It's 1-0. The rest of the guys will be fighting for a bench spot, but most of the guys who are in the lineup today probably aren't even going to be at the major league level. Vital Brujan is looking to be a bench guy for the Mets. Is the 1-0 swing and a miss. As far as the Blue Jays, they had their starters in, the majority of them, with it being a home game, but they just pulled them out this last half inning. 1-1 count. If you're a Blue Jays fan wondering about those guys, how they did, is the 1-1. Chopped over to second. That's going to be a 6-4 put out. They're going to flip it down to first, but no way of getting the speedy Brujan. And it'll be runners on the corners and 2 outs. And Toronto's only had 1 hit, and it was a 2-run blast by Okamoto, the free agent that came over from Japan. A 431-foot blast to dead center field. That's the only hit the Blue Jays have had all game long. Had a couple of walks, but other than that, that's it. So the Braves trailing 3-2 in the top of the 6th. Once again, Hunter Stratton gave up all 3 runs. First pitch on the way is outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. You don't really worry about that in spring training, especially the first week or so. Some guys come in and they're just trying to get loose. Some of them are just trying to work on a pitch here and there. There are guys that will go into a game and say, I'm only throwing the fastball today. And it becomes very obvious to the batters. As the 1-0 misses high. Looked like the curveball that didn't curve, 2-0. Yeah, Bo Bichette, that video we shared of him at third base is ridiculous. It's also spring training. I would hope that he's a little better than that, but the 2-0, they're going to throw it down to second base on a double steal. The ball gets away, the runner is safe at second, and the runner at third is going to come home. As Reiner goes all the way from second to home, steals second, or steals third, and as the ball got away, he'll come home, and the New York Mets have taken a 1-run lead. Brujan got tagged in the head, but the ball came out of the glove of the Toronto shortstop, who is now Cowles. He's in for Jimenez. Bo Bichette might be injured by opening day, because if he doesn't learn to play third base over there, that ball was beating the hell out of him the other day. But when you spend $42 million a year for the next 3 years on a free agent, you spend that much money, you need to have him play his position. He's not a third baseman. Most folks thought people were going to sign him and try to put him into second because he's not that great defensively shortstop, but he's been okay at second, and it's an easier transition. It's not that easy to take a shortstop and put him over at third. Brujan is going to come out of the game probably just to make sure that he doesn't have a concussion. As the pitch is outside wide for a ball 4, so he'll head on down to first. Clough at first base. Bay came in for Brujan after the injury substitution. He is at second. There's 2 outs, and the Mets lead at 3-2. Braves have taken a 4-3 lead in the 6th inning. Let's see how they got there, as that game is not being broadcasted, so that's why we're not carrying the Braves today. We want to bring you something. Looks like Nacho Alvarez got a double. And it's a 2 RBI double, scoring Compton and Closey. And the Braves have taken a 4-3 lead in the 6th. First pitch swinging by Morabito. He'll dribble it over to third. It's going to be a 5-3 punch out. Just barely got him by a half step, and that'll end the inning. So the Mets grab the lead. We'll be back in a flash. It's 3-2. Blue Jays grab the sticks when we return.
Every day I get up and do housework. I do the dish. What's wrong with your face?
Because your audio doesn't match your video. It's quite perplexing. That's what my face does when it doesn't make sense.
If anybody can have you, what I'm supposed to do with you? You like a roach. You at everybody's house? Nah. You don't even know your worth. You giving yourself away for pennies on the dollar. Then you want to come to me acting priceless. Girl, God is going to love you unconditionally. And I love that for him. I love that for the Lord. However, my condition is, act like you're worth more than a hot and spicy.
Hey, Braves Country, I'm Mac McGee. Join us for Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, the classic call of Braves Country baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show, Braves Country Today, just before first pitch. Stick around for the postgame show, Braves Country Tonight, where we will open up the phone lines and react to your calls or your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, pitch by pitch, play by play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country baseball.
Be like, men can get pregnant and have periods too, and don't you dare say otherwise. And another thing, until a man can get pregnant and carry a baby, I don't want to hear his opinion on abortion.
So everybody's
welcome back. Righty-righty matchup. First pitch on the way, chopped off the plate, and that ball's going to be bounced in front of the plate. Jumping on it and firing it down to second is Stubbs. And it's going to be a 2-3 put out, one away. Righty-lefty matchup. First pitch off the plate is outside wide. It's 1-0. Slow says he's a Jays and a Raptors fan. Are you not no Maple Leafs? He's a 1-0. Lifts it into center field, down for a base hit, and it's a one-out single for Toronto. Keys will come to the plate. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. He's going to flip it over to first real quick to keep the runner close by. Swing, rips it over towards second, and it's going to be an L4. He'll fire it to first, but not in time as the runner just got back in time. They almost had him doubled up, 2 down. We're taking you here through the 6th inning, and then we'll be hopping off. See you again tomorrow, 12:45. First pitch for Braves Tigers. Later on this week, 4 Braves games. Thursday is a doubleheader, Braves-Yankees, and at 3:10 we're going to jump over to Cleveland versus Seattle. As the first pitch misses inside for a ball, it's 1-0. 1-0 count. Right there for a strike. Both teams have nothing but backups in, and the backups are in. So that's why we do the two hours for the spring training games. We tend to do the full game for the Braves, but the out-of-town spring training games, they will drag on. You'll start getting a lot of pitching changes. Atlanta now leads 6-3, by the way. They're in the 6th inning. 2-1 pitch, swing and miss, 2-2. Chunk got a single. And looking at, you had an RBI from Smith today, White, 2 by Alvarez, 1 by Hicklin. The 2-2 pitch, swing. That ball's going to get dropped into center field. That's down for a base hit. And the Blue Jays have runners on the corners. And 2 outs. And just like in this game, all of the Braves backups are in. Pitch on the way is outside wide for a ball down and away. It's 1-0. Nacho is still in the game, but he's probably about to get pulled by the looks of it. Chadwick Tromp has been behind the plate today for Atlanta. They're going to try to keep him down there on the farm for depth this year. That's why they went out and they signed Jonah Heim, because you could have, in theory, had Trump as your backup catcher, but this is going to be more than just a couple of weeks, and then you would eventually have to DFA him. 1-0 swing! That ball is belted down the right field line, but foul. Man, did it have the distance. It hit the light pole out there. But well foul. Almost gave Toronto a 2-run lead. Runners on the corners, 2 outs, the 1-1. Right there at the knees. Just misses the call, 2-1. Two-one count. Check swing off the bat. 2-2. Well, I guess that means that the United States owns Canada until they can beat them in a hockey game again. George Springer living rent-free in the Blue Jays' heads was hilarious yesterday. The 2-2 count. He's going to call it inside, and they are going to challenge it. That did look like a ball. So Shrek is going to challenge this. See if he gets it called. It looked inside, but it's hard to tell. Man, it is just touching the bottom of the zone according to the ABS. So that's going to confirm it. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow, 12:45. Blue Jays trailing the Mets 3-2. They go to the 7th inning with nothing but the scrubs. We'll see you tomorrow, Braves Country. Good seeing everybody in the chat. We'll be doing this all spring long.